Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into Ali Hazelwood's sci-fi romance novel, Bride.
Okay.
Now, if you're looking for a whirlwind of interspecies drama, political intrigue, and, yes, a bit of steamy romance,
Right.
you've come to the right place.
Yeah.
We're going to give you the rundown of the major plot points.
Okay.
Think of it like your express ticket to understanding the story without having to read the whole book.
Sounds good.
So,
What's really interesting about Bride is how Hazelwood takes those familiar tropes,
Yeah.
like forced marriage,
right.
forbidden love,
Uh-huh.
and sets them against a backdrop of this really unique world.
Okay.
You've got vampires, wares, and humans, all vying for power and trying to coexist.
Wow.
It's a recipe for some serious conflict.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's meet our main character, Misery.
Okay.
She's a vampire, but her childhood wasn't exactly typical.
Right.
Imagine growing up, knowing you were traded as a child to ensure peace between your people and another species.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
That's the reality of the collateral system in this world.
It's wild.
Families exchange members to prevent war.
Oh, wow.
Misery had to live with humans for 10 years as part of this system.
Really?
I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
It must have been incredibly difficult for her.
Yeah.
Right, talk about culture shock.
Right.
You can definitely feel the impact of that experience on Misery.
Yeah.
It shaped her worldview, her trust issues,
Yeah.
her relationships. It's no wonder she's a bit jaded and fiercely independent.
Yeah, definitely.
But then things get even more complicated for her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, what happens? Her father,
Oh, okay.
who's a powerful figure in the Vampyre Council, decides she's going to be the key to maintaining this fragile peace.
Oh, boy.
Wow. By marrying her off to the new We're Alpha, Low Moreland.
Talk about being thrown into the lion's den.
Literally. Right from the start, there's this clear tension between Misery and Low.
Oh.
She's wary of him,
Uh-huh.
dislikes his stoic demeanor,
Okay.
and those pale green eyes of his hint at a power she doesn't quite understand.
I see.
And you can't blame her.
Right.
Their wedding ceremony is about as warm and fuzzy as a political negotiation,
Oh, wow.
which is essentially what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now-
Now Misery is thrust into this unfamiliar territory.
Yes.
I bet she was expecting some dark, brooding lair.
Maybe.
But Lo's home is actually quite modern and comfortable.
Really?
Still, she's walking on eggshells,
Yeah, I can imagine.
trying to figure out this new world and these people she's supposed to trust.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
And she's not the only one navigating uncharted territory. Remember, this peace treaty is still new,
Right.
and the history between these species is riddled with conflict and mistrust.
For sure.
Every interaction is laced with this underlying tension, like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
You can cut the tension with a knife.
Exactly.
Like they're constantly holding their breath, wondering if this alliance is going to implode.
Absolutely.
And Misery has her own personal mission.
What's that?
She's desperately trying to find her missing human friend, Serena.
Oh, right.
And she suspects a wearer might be involved in Serena's disappearance.
Oh, that adds another layer of complexity.
Can you imagine the added layer of suspicion that throws into an already tense situation?
It's a recipe for disaster.
Trying to build trust with your new husband while secretly investigating his people?
Definitely awkward.
Yeah, awkward is an understatement.
Totally.
And it doesn't help that Misery stumbles upon another secret.
What's that?
Lo's niece, Anna, who happens to be a were-human hybrid.
Really?
Her very existence is a political landmine.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it really throws a wrench into things.
Anna's presence highlights the complexities of this new world order.
Right.
It suggests that maybe the lines between these species aren't as clear-cut as they thought.
Yeah, it blurs the lines for sure.
And it definitely throws a wrench into the power dynamics.
Absolutely.
Then things escalate quickly.
Oh, no.
Misery is attacked by a young were named Max, who's clearly under the influence of a rival faction within the Wares.
What?
It's a brutal reminder of the danger she's in,
Oh, wow.
but it also showcases Misery's strength.
Okay.
She's not afraid to fight back thanks to her unique upbringing.
That's good.
Yeah, she's a survivor.
This attack is a turning point.
I could see that.
It forces both Misery and Lo to confront the fragility of this peace treaty and the forces working to undermine it.
Right.
And it starts to change their dynamic.
How so?
Lo becomes fiercely protective of Misery.
Yeah,
And we get the first glimpse of him as something more than just a stoic alpha.
interesting.
There's a vulnerability that emerges, a concern that goes beyond just fulfilling his duty to protect his wife.
Right.
He genuinely cares.
It's a subtle shift, but an important one.
You see it in the way he reacts to the attack. It's subtle, but it's there.
It's a reminder that even in this world of political maneuvering and interspecies conflict, human, or I guess we should say sentient, connection can still find a way to break through.
I like that.
It's what makes the story so compelling.
Yeah.
You have these larger forces at play, but it's the individual relationships, the struggles, and the triumphs that really resonate.
I agree. So you've got this forced marriage, this simmering tension between species and a missing friend.
Right.
Add on top of that a secret were-human hybrid child.
Yeah.
And an attempted murder. It's safe to say that Misery's honeymoon isn't exactly going as planned.
Not quite the romantic getaway.
But things are about to get even more complicated.
Oh, no.
And Misery decides to take matters into her own hands.
Okay.
She's not just going to sit around and wait for answers.
Right.
She's going to find them herself.
I like her style.
That's where Misery's resourcefulness really shines.
Yeah.
She starts hacking into Ware databases.
Wow.
Determined to uncover any clues related to Serena's disappearance.
Makes sense.
And this is where we get a deeper look into the inner workings of the Ware pack.
Okay.
And the rebel faction causing trouble for Lowe's. The Loyals.
Interesting.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. Every clue Misery uncovers leads to another secret.
Oh, boy.
Another hidden agenda.
This sounds complicated.
And it turns out that Serena's disappearance might be tied to the very existence of Anna.
The were-human hybrid.
Remember, her parentage is a closely guarded secret.
Right.
And those who know about her are walking a very dangerous line.
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game.
It's fascinating how Hazelwood weaves together these different threads. Personal relationships, political intrigue, and the mystery surrounding Serena's disappearance.
Keeps you guessing.
It's all interconnected.
Right.
And it keeps you guessing who's playing who.
Yeah.
And what their true motivations are.
It's a real page-turner.
And amidst all this chaos, something unexpected starts to happen. What's that?
What is it?
Misery and Lowe begin to connect.
Really?
They find common ground in their shared desire to find Serena.
That makes sense.
And we start to see a different side to Lowe.
Okay.
Remember, he was initially portrayed as this stoic, almost emotionally distant figure.
Yeah, I remember.
But those walls start to crumble as he spends more time with Misery.
I see.
There are these moments of vulnerability, these glimpses of tenderness that challenge our initial perception of him. It's most evident when Misery accidentally gets burned by the sun.
Oh, right. Vampires and sunlight don't mix.
Remember, vampires are incredibly sensitive to sunlight.
Yeah, for sure.
Lowe's reaction isn't just about fulfilling his duty as her husband.
Right.
It's a visceral, almost primal response to her pain.
He really cares about her.
It's like seeing a crack in his armor.
Yeah.
Revealing the depth of his concern for her.
It's those little moments that really get you.
And these moments aren't just one-sided.
Oh.
Misery also begins to see Lowe's in a new light. She starts to question her preconceived notions about him. About Wares in general.
That's interesting.
That's the beauty of Hazelwood's writing.
What is it?
She doesn't just throw these characters together and expect us to believe they fall madly in love overnight.
Yeah, that would be too easy.
She takes her time, allowing their relationship to develop organically amidst all the external pressures and internal struggles.
It feels more real that way.
And she doesn't shy away from the humor.
Oh, I like that.
Remember the peanut butter incident?
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
It's a small moment, but it speaks volumes about their evolving dynamic.
How so?
Misery is trying to navigate this new world.
Yeah.
Lowe is trying to understand her, and they both end up covered in peanut butter.
It's a classic rom-com trope.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
It's funny. And it's a reminder that even amidst all the drama, there's room for laughter and lightness.
Absolutely. You need that balance.
It's these small moments that make the characters feel so real, so relatable.
Right.
They're not just pawns in a larger political game.
Yeah.
They're individuals with their own quirks, desires, and vulnerabilities.
I agree.
And those vulnerabilities are what ultimately draw them closer.
It's human nature, even if they're not all human.
So the investigation continues, their relationship deepens, and the tension keeps building.
Oh, no.
And then Hazelwood throws another curveball.
What now?
A trip to Emery's territory.
Okay.
Now, for those who need a quick refresher, Emery is the leader of the Loyals.
The Rebel Wares.
Those rebel wares who are causing so much trouble for Lowe's.
Right, right.
The purpose of the trip is to negotiate, to try and de-escalate the conflict.
That's a good idea.
But it's clear that nobody's really trusting anyone.
Yeah.
And the stakes are incredibly high.
Things could go south quickly.
This trip forces Misery and Lo to rely on each other in a way they haven't before.
I see.
They're in a hostile environment.
Yeah.
Surrounded by people who want to see them fail.
Right.
And their every move is being watched.
Talk about pressure.
And let's not forget the added layer of complexity. Gabi.
Right.
Now, in war society, alphas have mates.
Oh, yeah.
These predetermined soulmates that are bound to them by a biological imperative.
It's like a fated mate situation.
And Gabi is Lo's supposed mate.
This is getting complicated.
Misery is acutely aware of her presence.
Yeah.
And the potential threat she poses to their budding relationship.
It's a classic love triangle.
This element of work culture adds a fascinating layer to the story.
I agree.
It raises questions about free will versus destiny. And whether love can truly conquer those primal instincts.
Those are big questions.
Misery is trying to figure out where she stands.
Right.
While Lo is grappling with feelings he doesn't fully understand.
It's a recipe for drama.
But there's no time to dwell on their romantic dilemmas.
Why not?
Because Misery sees an opportunity.
What is it?
She realizes she can hack into Emery's network.
Oh, wow.
Potentially uncovering crucial information about Serena's disappearance.
That's a great idea.
But there's a catch.
Oh.
She needs to stage a feeding scene with Lo.
A feeding scene.
And not just any feeding scene. It has to be convincing enough to fool Emery and his pack.
That's tricky.
Which means exchanging real blood.
Talk about a risky move.
But it's a testament to their growing trust.
Yeah.
And the lengths they're willing to go to for each other.
It shows how much they care.
And this blood exchange isn't just about the mission.
Right.
It becomes symbolic of their connection. This merging of their essences that goes beyond the physical act of feeding.
It's a deeper connection.
And it has some unexpected consequences.
Oh.
Remember those strange side effects Misery experiences after feeding from Lo?
Yeah, I was wondering about those.
It's becoming clear that their bond is something unique.
Interesting.
Something that goes beyond the traditional rules of their species. And it's not just about the physical connection.
Okay.
It's emotional. It's mental.
Right.
And it's starting to scare them both.
That's understandable.
It raises a whole new set of questions.
Like what?
What does this connection mean?
Yeah.
Is it a blessing or a curse? And how will it impact their relationship, especially given the whole mate situation with Gabi?
It's a tough spot.
It's a cliffhanger.
Oh.
Just when you think you're starting to understand the rules of this world,
Yeah.
Hazelwood throws in a twist that changes everything.
It's what keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Constantly guessing what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I bet.
So we left off with Misery and Lo's in a really precarious situation. They're trying to navigate this complex web of interspecies politics.
Right.
Uncover the truth about Serena's disappearance.
Yeah.
And deal with their own growing feelings for each other. All while facing constant threats from those who want to see them fail.
It's a lot.
Talk about pressure.
Definitely.
But just when you think things can't get any more tangled,
Yeah.
Hazelwood drops a bombshell. That reframes everything we thought we knew.
What is it?
This is where the story takes a really fascinating turn.
Okay.
Remember how we've been talking about those hidden agendas?
Right.
And the secrets surrounding Anna's parentage? Well, it turns out those secrets go even deeper than we initially thought.
Oh, well.
And they lead right back to Misery's own family.
Really?
It's revealed that Anna's father is actually a human politician.
Interesting.
And her connection to Misery goes all the way back to their childhood.
I see.
Or the collateral system.
Right. Exchange of children.
Well, Misery's father orchestrated the whole thing.
What?
Intentionally placing Misery with the family of this human politician as part of a larger scheme.
So it wasn't just about peace.
This revelation completely changes our understanding of Misery's past.
Yeah.
And her father's motivations.
For sure.
It wasn't just about keeping the peace.
Right.
It was about gaining leverage. About manipulating events from behind the scenes.
Wow.
To maintain his own power and influence.
He's playing the long game.
And it explains Serena's disappearance.
Oh, how so?
Remember how she was investigating the connection between Anna's father and the Wares? She was getting too close to the truth.
Oh.
To exposing Misery's father's manipulation.
That's dangerous.
It paints a really dark picture.
Yeah.
Of the lengths people will go to for power.
Right.
Even if it means sacrificing their own children.
That's messed up.
And it highlights the ripple effects of these actions.
I see.
Misery's father's choices didn't just impact her life.
Right.
They had consequences for Serena, Anna, Lo, and the fragile peace between these species.
It's a domino effect.
It's a sobering reminder that even seemingly small decisions can have far-reaching consequences.
Absolutely.
So now, not only does Misery have to deal with the fallout of this revelation, but she also finds herself a captive of her own father.
Oh, no.
He's planning to use both Serena and Anna as leverage against the Wares.
That's not good.
Escalating the conflict to a whole new level.
This is getting intense.
It's a classic case of the villain thinking they're one step ahead, but underestimating the power of those they've wronged.
They always do.
And that's where we see Lo's true character shine.
Okay.
He's not just going to stand by and let this happen.
Good.
He rallies his pack and sets out to rescue Misery and the girls.
He's a true hero.
Putting his own life on the line to protect those he cares about.
It's a testament to his love for Misery.
And his commitment to doing what's right.
Yeah.
Even if it means defying tradition and risking everything.
He's going against the grain.
And just when you think you've seen it all, another twist is thrown in.
Oh, there's more.
Remember Owen, Misery's brother?
Yeah, vaguely.
He's been kind of a background character up until this point.
Right.
But he makes a surprising entrance during the final confrontation with their father.
Really?
And it turns out he's got his own motivations for challenging their father's authority.
Interesting.
Owen's involvement adds another layer of complexity to the story.
I can see that.
It turns out he's been working behind the scenes to expose their father's corruption and create a more equitable world for all species.
He's a good guy.
His goals align with Lo's.
That's helpful.
Creating an unlikely alliance that challenges the old power structures.
Things are shifting.
It's like all the pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together, but not in the way we expected.
It's full of surprises.
You've got these shifting alliances, personal betrayals, and a fight for survival that pits family against family, species against species.
Wow, it's all coming to a head.
It's a whirlwind of action and emotion.
Definitely.
That culminates in a final showdown that's both satisfying and unexpected.
I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
And just when you think the dust has settled, Hazelwood throws in one last twist.
Another one.
Serena shifts.
What?
Remember, she's human.
Right. Or so we thought.
But it turns out she has a hidden war heritage.
Whoa, that changes things.
Which explains why she was targeted. And why her investigation hit so close to home.
I see.
It's a cliffhanger ending that leaves you wanting more.
I bet.
It challenges everything we thought we knew about Serena, about the nature of these species, and about the potential for change in this world.
It opens up a lot of possibilities.
It's a reminder that appearances can be deceiving. And there are always hidden depths to uncover. Both in the characters and in the story itself.
It keeps you guessing.
And that's what makes Bride such a captivating read.
For sure.
It's a story that keeps you guessing until the very end. Challenging your assumptions. And expanding your understanding of what's possible.
It sounds like a wild ride.
It's a wild ride with a lot of heart, a dash of humor,
and
a whole lot of twists and turns.
I love it.
If you're looking for a book that will keep you entertained, engaged, and emotionally invested, I highly recommend Bride.
Sounds like a good one.
Hazelwood has crafted a world that's both familiar and unique, populated by characters who are flawed, complex, and ultimately hopeful.
It sounds like a great escape.
It's a story that explores themes of identity, belonging, and the power of challenging the status quo.
Those are important themes.
It reminds us that even in a world filled with darkness and conflict, there's always room for love, compassion, and the possibility of a better future.
I like that.
That's it for our deep dive into Bride.
Wow, what a story.
We hope you enjoyed this journey with us.
I know I did.
Remember, the world of books is vast and full of wonder.
It really is.
There's always something new to discover.
Absolutely.
And we're here to guide you through it.
We'll be your trusty guides.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Subscribe for more bookish adventures.
Yeah, don't miss out.
And hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride.
If you liked what you heard,
don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.
Let everyone know.